Hey guys, Narkexy here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a commentary between the Misfits Lucky Duck and the Firebirds Bigonj. I believe both of these players are Australian, judging by the pings, and this is for the Season 9 Nickel City X-Wing Draft League. Hasn't started yet. A bunch of teams are doing a bunch of preseason games, especially with Worlds coming up next week. This is shaking off a lot of cobwebs for some people, but for the rest it's getting them nice and prepped for the season. We've just rolled Scramble the transmissions. In the yellow trunks on our left side here is Bigonj. He's running Major Von Reg, Lone Wolf Outmaneuver Pattern Analyzer, Kylo Ren, Brilliant Evasion, Sensor Scramblers and Plasma Torpedoes, Breach in the TIE Bomber, running Proud Tradition, Proton Torpedoes, Bomblet Generator, and just a generic Xi shuttle here with Biohexacrypt codes, Agent Terex, TAC Officer, and a Bladed Plating, all sporting these lovely Firebird colors on them. These ships are looking absolutely gorgeous. Whoever did these models did a fantastic job. I'm going to have to pick his brain to see who did it, including the damage deck as well. Look at that. That's beautiful. And on the other side, for the Misfits, is the one and only Lucky Duck, also from the Reef City Cartel. We've got Maul in the Gauntlet. This is a bit of a different Maul than what I run. So he's running Hate for that Force Regeneration, the Super Commandos, Kira, Pelimoto, Greedo, Drop Seat Bay, and Night Brother. Sorry about that, completely forgot to set up my microphone properly. We've got Lima Kai, seen a fair bit of love in recent updates with XWI. 11 points, but sports 21 loadout, so you can do quite a lot with Lima Kai now. So dorsal turret, plasma torpedoes, R4B11, ion bombs, and Contra. Old T in the Fang with Cutthroat Beskar, and Kanan with Gamut Key. So we're looking at a lot of defensive tech here to really help him against, just in general. And Kanan's a big help. Gamut will let Maul carry reinforcers into an engagement if he wants it. Or even letting old T have double focuses when he does a big lunge into range 1, or even letting Lima have a double modded shot, depending on however Lucky Duck wants to engage. So while we're doing that, they're in the middle of setting up. Very interesting obstacle placement. Definitely favors a lot of mobility in the middle of the map here for Bigonj. Bigonj, I'll just start calling him J. But this kind of map doesn't really frighten Lucky Duck. He's really good with moving around asteroids, especially with big ships. He usually plays quite a lot of Scum Falcon, and before he started playing Scum, he was a really big YT 2400 player with Rebels with Dash. So shouldn't see a lot of problems getting through all these obstacles for Ducky. Objectives are your standard, more or less horizontal array that you normally see for Scramble. Not a lot of shenanigans going on with the objective placement. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Both lists featuring nothing but 5s or higher, more or less. Nothing but 5s, except for Kanan for Ducky here. Kanan's at 3, so he'll still be able to move. He'll still go after this shuttle, which this shuttle can do a little bit of tomfoolery, it being at that lower initiative, getting blocks in. Vonreg being at 6 can also lead to trouble as well. And a pretty standard placement for Kylo and Vonreg going on opposite corners of each other. So it'll be interesting to see how they go into this, going into turn 2 and 3, because that's when we'll start seeing people shooting at. Well, obviously we'll start seeing people shooting at each other pretty quickly, but I shouldn't imagine it would take too long to get engagements happening between these two players. They've got quite a lot of options here. It is interesting. The Zai Shuttle has been seeing a lot of usage recently. Usually just the Malorus Shuttle, but even just the generic shuttle being able to come in, do some coordinating. Agent Terex giving out calcs. We see some Kraken calculates here. Some nice custom tokens for the Firebirds. Very nice looking custom tokens. I'll have to definitely ask Jay where he gets all these done, because I definitely want some tokens for me to use. All the energy tokens and shield tokens are looking really cool as well. Okay, so it looks like we're moving into the planning phase. You've got quite a lot of options. I wouldn't be surprised if Vonreg just shoots his way all the way down this line here. Comes in wide, swoops in this angle here. That's probably what Vonreg's doing. He might even go for a deeper lunge. Just 5-5 come and then hook in around this rock to get behind. Might be a little bit discouraged because of that dual arc on Maul. Can keep him a little bit honest so long as Maul's not engaged in the fight. Zai Shuttle will probably cruise a little bit. Probably 1s or 2s to begin with. Might go for a 3. I can't remember what the dial on the Zai looks like. But probably not going to be too fast. It might even cut towards my inside edge of the board down this way, come around, or cut towards the outside. Might cut inside just because where the collection of forces are here. Kylo probably going to go deep. If Lucky Duck can get Kylo at range 3 when he's not being looked at by Kylo, that can force that decloak, which is what you really want to do early. You don't want Kylo being too cloaked for too long. There we go. So yeah, the 1 straight. Getting the lock. That'll be for the biohexacrypt codes. So he can just he can get a coord whenever he wants. Yeah, and there's Breaching Kylo doing 1s and 3s. What they're usually expecting. There's the lock on the rock from Kylo, just because Kanan has that jam capability. Alright, that's interesting. More of a conservative play with old T here. Forced bump onto Lima costs a shield, and Maul doing a quick deeper lunge as well. I think he's looking to 3 bank into this gap with how fast he's moved there. Really pull Vonreg into that gap that's available. But Maul going that fast is very interesting. If you're going to play a fast Maul, I would normally put him on the outside just so you don't have to worry about all this in here. But as I said, Ducky's pretty familiar with doing this. I think even that 3 bank might clip that cloud, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets around this. Von Reg going for the lock, just missing Maul, very big. So we know Maul's not being shot at by Von Reg and vice versa this turn, and Von Reg can't get an early lock either. That early lock would be a bit of a detriment onto Maul, because even with 2 agility, Von Reg is just sitting in a nice flanking position, has outmaneuver, dropping him down to 1 agility, or if he can even get in behind Lima, we'll be doing 3. It would drop it down to 0 agility. That'll be end of turn 1. Wouldn't be surprised to see Super Commandos coming out of Maul this turn. Probably deployed out this way to keep Von Reg honest, but could also be deployed out this way and hustle this way down the board to put pressure on this gap and Kylo coming in as well. So it'll be very interesting to see how he wants to play this. And for FO, Von Reg's probably going to cut in here. I could see Maul 0 stopping and rotating face outside of the board. That gives you that 1 bank for next turn to get out. And then you've got your 2 hards to pull back into the map as well, pull back into the center. Kanan's probably going to bank this way, just open up his arc all the way out here. Lima probably going to re-go for that gap or come this way and follow Maul. And Old Tease is going to hook around this rock and come in this way. Just delay that engagement as much as possible. Have that engagement against Kylo on your own terms, especially with Breach. Breach with plasmas and Kylo... Sorry, Breach with protons and Kylo with plasmas. That's a lot of firepower in a first round engagement right here if Jay wants it. There we go, same result for Road. And we've got Jay going for... We got Jay winning Road again. So not too much of a hassle this early in the game, but once things start getting a bit closer, it'll definitely be trouble. Systems phase boost from Breach. Should be systems phase. Yeah. With the pursuit thrusters. There's the Super Commandos out the side as I thought. Coming out this way to try and keep Von Reg a little bit more honest. And yeah, that drop seat bay allows Ducky to really place them however he wants. And yeah, there's that. Straight out that way. And 2 straight. Okay, if that's a 2 hard coming in from Von Reg, that'll push a strain onto Von Reg. Or a 2 bank. But if Von Reg's just zooming past, these commandos are going to take a while to get back into the thick of things. Zai giving the coordinate over to Breach. 1 straight from Kanan, grabs a focus. Over to Jay's I5s. 2 bank from Kylo, claims the objective. Seeing if he wants to chassis to bow roll, I think. Nope. What? Yep, so definitely a lot of table superiority in space being given over to the FO player. One straight from breach. Already performed a focus. Already has a lockout. I think he's just going to reattempt that target lock. Everyone's out, so he's going to move that lock over. Alright, we do have the 2-bank right. Goes over the obstacle, so stress from Maul, which is not what he wants. Especially when he's about to be eating... He's not going to eat plasmas here, or protons here, so that's alright. Lima doing the 2-bank right, so she's going to fit into this gap here next turn. Everyone's just a little bit out. And Old T, because Lima's in there, Old T's going to push there. Kylo's going to definitely be inside range 3 here. You know he's not shooting, so you're more than welcome. You can actually boost and not be punished here, because Kylo can't shoot while cloaked. So you don't have to focus here. Just boost for a better position. Don't bother focusing. Yeah, Kylo's not shooting back. So definitely a good position to be in. Maul locked that cloud, sorry, so he's unaffected by it because of Kira. So he's claimed that objective. Does get the stress onto Vonreg because of the landing on the commandos there. Vonreg still able to perform actions, so more than able to grab that objective, which I probably would, because the commandos can't shoot at range 0. I probably would have kept the commandos back here for a turn, try and put some damage into Vonreg. But that's just one hard, 2 straight, 1 hard. Bring the commandos back in, or chase Vonreg with a bunch of 1s. Quite a few options here for Vonreg to do as well. I would definitely try and claim that objective. You still have your action available to Vonreg. So while that's going on, this first engage here is looking pretty safe for Maul. I think next turn you don't bother with the 0 stop because Kylo's going to bank in plasma. Breach is going to 1 straight proton if you just stop. So I think Maul needs to engage GTFO protocols. There's the barrel roll with Vonreg, and is still inside range 1 there. So it does get the claim on that objective. Which is why I said just keep the commandos back here. You get to still put shots into Vonreg. That strain's not going to do anything. A blue maneuver just gets rid of them. We do have a quick pause here from Lucky, I think. He has said 1 sec. Clock is still counting down though. But we do see mouse movements from Ducky, so he's probably just figuring something out for himself. There's the first calculate from Terex coming out. You do kind of want to give these out as quickly as possible, because on the other side, being able to get jammed and then pass that off as an action onto enemies, because it's any ship, can do a fair chunk of disruption into your enemy's list. Vonreg out. Move to I5s for J. does get Maul range 3. That's some... Excuse me. That is going to be some big, chunky defense dice from Maul, especially with Hate being able to regenerate that force back. Loving it for now. 1 for 1. We've got Old T also into Breach. Sorry, Old T into Breach to begin with. 2 hits. No mods. 2 evades. Doesn't need to use the focus. I think shooting Vonreg here is a mistake. You shoot. Yeah, you keep going into Breach here. Breach is at range... Oh, yeah. No, they're both at range 3. Okay, so he's going into the Courier. Spends 1 force. Changed it to a crit with Greedo. Double evade. Lima's out. Down to the first order Courier. 2 against 2. No mods versus force. 1 force has already been spent. 1 versus 1. He's laughing, so no damage coming out this first round. Kylo inside that range 3. Has to decloak now. So yeah, decloaking right. Going all the way back. Gives him a really nice position to be in, especially because that he's probably going to 2 straight now. Get that plasma on Lima that he can't avoid. Kanan's popping Gamut Key on himself, keeping that focus available. So it'll be really interesting to see how Ducky approaches the rest of this position. You got Vonreg looking to scream inside here. Can't remember the exact dial. It's been a while since I've versed FO, but can quite easily get through this gap. Look into Kanan. Kylo's looking to come in here, get plasmas into Lima. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bank from Breach to throw those protons into an exposed Lima now, especially with Lima's positioning and where Kylo and Breach are. That's a lot of damage taking you get off the table here if you pop all that into Lima. Lima's looking to throw plasmas into somebody, probably Breach. If everyone here can collapse in on Breach, that'll be good. Kanan's probably looking to... If he's grabbing that focus, he's probably looking to just 1 straight again. Keep all the list inside that arc here. Probably would have liked Kanan to be facing this way behind Lima. Personally. Just... but... Kanan, it's just the big concern that Vonreg's out here on his own without maneuver, and it's very easy to get behind Hawks. Sure, Kanan's got focus rotate, lock rotate to try and keep Vonreg on his jam as well if he wants to. It's just keeping Vonreg honest in this position is going to be very difficult with all your lists facing out this direction. Vonreg's definitely not going to be the target for an attack for a while. I think probably Breach or the FOC is going to be going down first. Wouldn't be surprised if it's FOC. Just to get rid of all this coordination off the list. This is very point sufficient for coordinating. 13 points, so could have been Malorus. But some lists you don't want to force strains on, especially these high int lists. You don't want to be forcing strains, so FOC is probably one of the correcter choices here. And yeah, just the hex script code agent Terex. Terex does a lot of good work in FO lists, just giving out free calcs for 3 rounds, and then potentially giving out free calcs after that, or jamming your opponents after that as well. So we've got Ducky first. The other Super Commandos are coming out. Wouldn't be surprised to see them bank out this way, then immediately one hard. Well, these Commandos are probably going to one hard again. If they get one hard out to the edge to restrain Vonrig, that'll be interesting. No, hasn't decided to move the Commandos. Oh no, just being has been skipped by Jay here. Because yeah, these Commandos do move in the systems. Okay, these Commandos come back into the center of the table now. Yeah, correct call. That's just going to be 2 straight hard in. Breach systems phase boost. Really wants to try and block Maul here. Yep, Kanan on the out. Here he comes. Turns off outmaneuver because outmaneuver only worries about the front arc. Doesn't matter where your turret is. Double focus for Kanan. Nice and defensive so he can use that force on Maul to keep Maul there. Oh, one hard from Old T. He's in where... Okay, yeah. Was where Lima wants to be. Lima gets the 1 bank in. She's probably going to lock FRC here. I'd probably lock FOC here because that's range 1 from Terok. If Maul's sitting still, that's range 1. You've got the Commandos also shooting in as well. You've got a lot of dice being thrown into FOC here. That's probably what I would do. No mods for Maul. Oh, we're throwing it into Breach. Okay, so Maul's probably too straighting here. Yep. Yep. The second I saw that lock go onto Breach, it became obvious that Maul planned on 2 straighting here. But that's the downside. He unfortunately did win Road. So Breach is still at range 2, so he's going to be he's still in threat of that Proton. And then Kylo is going to be swooping in, getting a plasma off onto Lima as well. So Lima's looking very vulnerable here. Lima, fortunately, is inside that side arc of Kanan. If you look at straight down the line there. So Kanan still can help out Lima, turn that Proton that's coming into 3 dice instead of 4. One hard blue from Vonreg, grabs the lock. Strain boost. I would imagine strain focus. Okay. Happy keeping it 3 dice for now. Kanan next turn is probably just going to 3 straight claim that objective. Maul didn't stress focus. I probably would have stress focused if he went second. Oh, you still don't have him in shot. So yeah, no, that's fair enough. Just going to throw 3 dice base into the career while you're shooting plasmas in a range 1 Old T. Old T will get to take away this calculate though. And that happens before he engages. At the start of the engagement phase. Has been forgotten here by Old T. Or is the ordering of Old Terox? Oh, that's unfortunate because Ducky won Road. He can't use Old T to strip the calculate here because his triggers to go first. Spending the lock on those plasmas for 2. Hopefully you don't... That's unfortunate. Yep. Using R4B11 to actually use the FOC's lock for Biohexacrypt against him to get that plasma in. Oh no. That's diabolical. That Biohexacrypt's not going to be helpful once Breach is cleared out of the way. 3 dice range 0 into FOC. Big hits. Gets 3 in. One of them a crit as well. And we've got Hull Breach. Four hits from Old T going into Breach as well. Breach is gone. That's just 4 damage, no mods. Breach off the table. Still has his lock there, so there's going to be some damage coming into Breach. There's going to be some damage coming from Breach into Lima. Kanan did take 2 damage from Vonreg. Kyler with the plasma into Lima. That's big. Oh dear. Okay. So. Yep, shield crit. Hit crit. Structural damage on Lima. Not long for this world now. She's about to eat 4 dice plasma. Kanan used his force on himself, unfortunately. So that's a lot of damage into Lima that can't be answered now. That's hit double crit. Damaged engine, structural, damaged sensor array. So Lima on 1. But Breach is dead. Kanan into FOC. Correct. He's fine. These shields are turned off. He's just accidentally flipped the same token twice. Super Commando B, 1 hit. Gets some damage in, which is because that whole Breach, it's a crit. Stun Pilot now. So we're seeing a lot of violence this turn. Ducky getting away with it. Lima has eaten the damage that Lima was going to be eating there. Probably see a 4K from Lima. Fits snugly. You've got Contra. SOC throwing into Kanan. Wrong number of dice. Gets nothing. A-OK from Kanan. Yeah, double focuses there. Doing nothing. Correct idea. Keeping Kanan on that defensive with double focuses, but just did nothing there for him. Big swing for Lucky Duck there. All 3 objectives claimed by Jay on this turn, so any kind of lead isn't being extended too much right now. But we will have to see how Ducky plays it from here. Kanan's got no shields. Lima's as good as dead. Old T's looking pretty aggressive into the first order career. Maul. Wouldn't zero stop here? But you don't have Ks. You don't have any kind of turnarounds on these gauntlets. Could just 2-bank, put yourself here, get FOC in your rear arc and claim that objective. Old T can just too hard claim that objective. And Kanan coming through here claiming this objective as well. So you can easily get all 3 objectives and make your life a bit of a struggle for Jay in this turn. It'll be interesting. Kylo still has that plasma, still has 1 more plasma available. Getting Breach before he can get these bombs off as well, because that was going to be a bomblet generator from Breach this turn. So that would have been some damage coming out into Maul and probably Old T or Lima here. Lima's still fine, even if she 4Ks and grabs a... Sorry, Lima. Lima is still fine if he decides to 4K with Contra, because you can still only perform focuses, and when you acquire a lock with Lima, it's just acquire a lock, it's not take an action. So you can still get a focus lock here and throw another plasma into someone before Lima goes down if you fit that 4K, which you probably should, because a 2 straight puts you here, 3 straight puts you here, 4K puts you back here, puts you around here. Use both charges of those. We've used one of them. One of them. And Gamut Key's back up on the field as well. So Kanan's probably just going to keep Gamut to himself. Gamut will be up on charges right now. Ducky just hasn't noticed it yet, because charge regeneration is must. It is something that must happen during the end step. What options do you have here as Jay? Kylo's still probably going to come in here. SOC is looking very hurt. Probably just going to 1 straight force a bump here. Ion's out from Lima. 1 hard in from this commando. Forces a strain. Yep. Strain from Vonreg because Kanan was in that straight. Okay, that's interesting. Taking that debris cloud, which must be a hit, which must be turned crit. Wounded pilot. And his overlap. Yep, that's the overlap on the obstacle. Seeing if he suffers a crit here as well. He doesn't. Wouldn't matter anyway, a bladed plating. Oh, that's wounded, not stunned. My bad. 1 straight from Kanan grabs the objective. Good call. 1 hard from Kanan, looking to punish a 5k from Lima if it happens. Maul doing a 0-stop rotate would really harm this first order career. Would harm this Zai. Especially because it's got that strain. You're looking at 4 dice into 1. He's probably coming off the table. Sure, you don't have mods. I mean, you've got Force. Force is fine. Kylo going for a lock here. Into Lima. Yep. Just get Lima off the table. Don't even need to use plasmas for it. Lima with the 4k. Yep. Kylo is looking at her. She's going to grab the focus, though. Only action she can do. Friendly bump is fine. Didn't actually contra Lima. And bump focus from old T. And 2 straight with Vonreg into Kanan. Forces the bump as well. Stress focus. Yep. I'd probably... Who would you put the calc on from Terex here? It is 0 to 3, so he could give it to himself. I think himself would be the correct option here. Yep. You're very lucky you escape shots from Maul. You've got the commandos coming in, you've got old T, you've got Lima coming in as well. You're looking at 3 dice on Maul, 4 dice on old T, 2 dice on Kanan, but no mods. You've got outmaneuver, so sorry, 3 dice, 2 dice. Into old T with outmaneuver. Yep, 3v3. I would. Good call here. Cananing to drop the number of dice. Oh, I didn't need it. He's fine. Kylo's just going to shoot 3 dice into Lima. The obstruction does give Lima 1 dice. Doesn't need the lock. That's dead Lima. Yep, 2 damage into Lima. She's gone. You do need... Yeah, you need to kill FOC here. Three hits, no matter what happens, is dead here. Yep. Even if you spend the calc, that's 2 damage, and that's a dead shuttle. Both of them are creeps from that hull breach. What do we have? Damage sensor ray and blinded. That Zai is very stressed out. All crits. Old T's got no one, but now he's got that opening available to give trouble to Vonreg. Yep. Might as well take that range 3 2 dice shot. You might sneak one through. Hit crit, 2 crits with Greedo. All blanks here would be devastating. Oh, 3 blanks gets 1 shield onto Vonreg. That's not what you want to see on just little chip damage.
able to keep these ships honest. 2 dice from the Super Commandos. Blanks it. And these Super Commandos will have no one. So 4 more objective points for Jay. And 2 objective points for Ducky. So close game still. A lot of the firepower off the table for Jay. Or not firepower, but the ships that you're expecting to die have come off the table. Probably a little sooner than he'd have liked. Especially when he's had such big dominance claiming objectives. But it's going to be very hard to get Kylo and Vonreg into arcs where you want them. Kanan's probably never going to be seen again. Kanan's probably just going to hook this way, come around the table, just swoop wide, keep everyone inside his arc. Old T, I wouldn't be surprised if he does a 2 hard or 3 hard into this gap, claims the objective. Try and strip those tokens off Vonreg, and Maul probably should go for this objective here. Even if you leave this center objective open with Old T, I would probably still go for this objective with Maul. Just because if that happens, you're tying down Kylo. And if you can tie down Kylo to not do any to not get mods, you're throwing nothing but force, and you're throwing nothing but force, but you've got more force, and you've got hate, unlike Kylo, who's taken brilliant evasion, because this is the silencer version of Kylo. So this is, I'll show you the dark side, Kylo. Which he didn't do. Oh, it is defend, sorry. My bad, and he hasn't defended once. Brilliant evasion on this Kylo is actually good, though. Very rarely you're ever going to see this thing in bullseye, if he has anything to say about it. Alrighty, systems phase, no one in Vonreg bullseye. What are these commandos doing? 2 straight from that set of commandos. 2 straight from these ones. Oh, they're under the cloud now. They are able to sit on top of the cloud. But I think the cloud just overrides on top. Well, they've disappeared now. That's frustrating. I think they're discussing if they're going to unlock the debris. I think they've opted not to for now. Do it later. Yep. 2 hard from Old T. Does the claim, thought he would. 1 bank from Maul. Claims the objective in a good position to stop and rotate here. Reclaim it back, but that's what you wanted to do. Force Kylo to not do anything this turn. And Vonreg's not going to be happy shooting 2 dice into Old T at range 1. Or 3 dice into Old T at range 1. With Concordia. Oh, he's disengaging with Vonreg here. Probably the correct call, honestly. Just boost out. Yeah, you just boost out here with Vonreg. He's not in a position you want him to be in. Yeah, correct. Just boost out. Don't strain yourself. Keep that strain off. Yeah. Alrighty, so shouldn't be seeing any shots this round. Oh no, we do have a long shot from Kanan into Vonreg. Hit crit. Obstructed. We've seen the one pot shot already put some damage into him. Oh, almost got it again. Vonreg not rolling very successfully here. Yep, final shot from these super commandos. One crit. Two evades. And we do know these super commandos would have... Maybe not. I think you just have to agree to lift up, have someone hold the rock straight up. But they're just electing not to do it this turn. 4 points on objectives for 2. 25 to 28. We're seeing Ducky extend that lead. Big game of chicken here with Kylo and Maul, though. If Maul 0 stops faces that way, Kylo is very easily able to just full send, get outside of arc, and you've got Maul unable to do anything. If Maul 0 stops and stays facing this way, it's an option, but you're really making your life more difficult next turn. Or you can just do the 0 stop 180 degree rotate. I think you might be tempted to rotate out to Maul's right here. Sure, you can't claim the objective, but Vonreg's coming this way, and it's very easy for you to come around the table and put Vonreg in your sights with Maul as well, which is what you want to be doing. You want to be trying to corner and treat Vonreg. You do want to get Vonreg cornered at this point. I think trying to put dice into Kylo is the wrong option. You've got both of your ships very easily able to cordon Vonreg off. Sure, he's I6, so he's probably going to be arc dodging one of your ships, but it's very unlikely if you've got Maul coming this way, Old Terok coming this way, unless you're really trying to play super defensive with Vonreg, bring him around inside to claim that objective. A 3 hard won't get you inside objective range. Interesting to see how they're going to work over through this. They probably could just have Jay pick up the cloud. Oh, it's just, yep, just pick up the cloud. Unlock, put him back down, then release the cloud. Yep, perfect. That's the correct way to sort that out. I think Duck, you turn left here with them. Yep. Don't have another debacle like that with that cloud. One bank from Kanan, grabs a focus. 3 hard from T, does bump into the back of Vonreg. I wouldn't stress here. Okay, 1 bank away with Maul. You do have that rear arc. Good option. Every chance Kylo arc dodges it. Not in that position, he's not. I think Kylo just grabs the lock back and throws a plasma into Maul. I think it's a very valid option there. Yep. Kylo, throw it into Maul. Yeah. Three hard from Vonreg. Okay. Trying to put shots into Kanan. Kane will be down to 2 dice. Kanan obviously Kananing. Should be outmaneuvered. Into Vonreg here. Does get another shield. Does push another shield through. Vonreg's been halved now. Yep, here's that plasma from Kylo. Just one, goes for the reroll with the lock. Yep, does the double spend. I would. Spends the force, only takes 2 there on the shields for Maul. And Kanan gets to return fire now. And we've got that last Super Commando shot too. No, we don't. They've already fired twice. Hit crit from Kanan into Vonreg. We've already seen long-range pot shots. A crit in on Vonreg. We've got disabled power regulator. Four more from Ducky. Yeah, these Super Commandos have put in some work. They've done some chip damage, which is what you want them to really do. Gammeting that focus. Kanan keeping that focus for when both of these guys come swooping in on him, which would be the correct play here from I think that would be a pretty correct play here from Jay right now. You could risk claiming that objective, but with Vonreg on 1, you really don't want to, because stray shots could plink him, which is what's been getting Vonreg, just 1 damage coming in the entire time. Gets a strain onto Vonreg, not that it's going to do much unless he whited. We've got commandos hidden under the cloud here again. Has managed to make them visible underneath that cloud, so we know where they are. Big swooping 3-bank from Kanan. And the boost. That's actually brilliant. That's actually brilliant. Forces the bump on Kylo. Maul can just do if Maul's done the 0 stop here, Kylo's in trouble. I would stress focus. Yep. 1 hard. Just doesn't fit the bank boost. You just have to straight boost here to put yourself in a better position for next turn. Takes the lock instead. And gets the rotate with Maul looking straight down on Kane, looking straight down on Kylo, or potentially Vonreg, depending on where he winds up on the table. Kills the strain, but Vonreg could be plinked by Maul here, so you do need to play defensive. Takes a deplete for the barrel roll, and will grab a focus too. Yep. should see him take a focus. Why else would you take... Oh no, yeah, deplete goes first. And claims instead. Okay. I think that's a mistake. Uses Kanan, drops that down to 2 versus 2. If Maul's got that range on... If Maul has that shot on Vonreg, you take it. Doesn't have it, so he's forced to put 4 dice into Kylo. One hit, one eye. Spends the lock. I think you double force here. Turn 1 into a crit with Greedo. 2 shields and a crit out on Kylo for halving him. Weapons failure. If the kill gets sunk onto Vonreg. Yeah, there's no winning it. There's no winning in this position now. Spends the focus for 1. Vonreg blanks it and dies anyway. Unless... No reroll from Lone Wolf. And that'll be the game there. $56-27 once these are... Oh, sorry. 56-31 once these points are divvied out. So 4 points coming in for Jay. Very interesting game. Very, very interesting game. Yeah, claiming that objective was a mistake. He needed that focus for Vonreg to stay alive so he could come out this way. But a lot of unfortunate green dice on Vonreg. Vonreg just got plinked down by range 3 2-dice shots that entire time. And the one time Kylo got shot at, he rolled one paint. Yep, very interesting game. So win in this preseason goes to Lucky Duck for the Misfits against Bigonj's the Firebirds. Bigonj 31-56. Very interesting game. Very swingy game. Kanan made it out alive. Not a lot of damage being thrown from FO. I think just that force from Kanan reducing dice when you need it to be reduced was absolutely perfect there. Alrighty, so we will see what's going on with these guys, what they're discussing, grab a chat with them. Probably won't record a post-game with both of them. If either of them wants to chat with me one-on-one, I might give it a record and throw it on the end of this. Otherwise, thanks for tuning in and watching. We're slowly ramping up towards Season 9 of NCX. So it will be interesting to see all the kinds of lists that are coming out, especially because there will be a points update before Season 9 begins. So, until then, or whenever I see you next, I will catch you guys next time.